Ladies and gentlemen, back in the Eastern Time Zone, Ryan Gasser and Everett Fitzhugh, the voice of Falcon Hockey, here at the Carlson Center in Fairbanks, Alaska. It actually does look a little bit like Alaska should look today. We got about 3 inches of snow on the ground. 4 of them came yesterday, and the sun has melted it off. Yeah, that is the sun. It does happen here in Alaska. And over the course of the last couple days, we've seen just about 6.5 hours of sunlight. It is becoming more of a thing that we get to actually see instead of just hear about. And so, Everett, your first impressions on this trip to Alaska? It's been kind of cold, but it's been something that we've kind of got used to.
It's not been as cold as I thought it was going to be. You know, they were talking about 8 below and 10 below, but it's actually kind of like December or January back in BG. 18, 25 degrees, crisp, nice and brisk. Feels good out here.
Yeah, the wind has been blowing a little bit, but it hasn't been anything abnormal. You can see that, really the Alaskan skyline that you always hear about, that's something that more we flew over the area of Anchorage last night, on Wednesday night. But the countryside really is nice. The snowfall, if you are a winter person, this is typically the place where you would want to be. But as Everett said, it's just like a typical BG winter early in the months of December, maybe even January. But definitely not a bad place to be. It isn't all doom and gloom here. It is actually fairly nice, and the people here have been nothing but hospitable to us, and they are very into their culture. They are very into their state history, and it's actually been very impressive. You can go anywhere and ask anybody about this state, and you'll learn quite a lot.
Yeah, our bus driver has been talking to us a lot about just Alaskan history, and everyone is proud to be from Alaska. A lot of states people, you'll ask someone about Ohio, you ask someone about Michigan, they might not know that much about their state, but here in Alaska they're very, very proud of their Inuit heritage and of their Native American heritage, and they're really proud to be from this state. And it's really refreshing to see, actually.
And even if you're not an Inuit native, or you're not, maybe you're not native to the state of Alaska, and you come here and you become part of the heritage, even the Caucasians over here really just embracing the Alaskan heritage, embracing the gold mine rushes of the early 1900s, and it really is kind of a walking historical book that we found ourselves in here in Alaska.
It is, and you can talk to anyone from people who work at restaurants, people who work at the hotels, bus drivers, like I said. Everybody knows a little bit something different about this state, and you can piece all that together, and I feel like I'm more educated on Alaska just being here in 3 days than I ever would have throughout a textbook or a class. And I told you this the other day, I wouldn't mind moving here, just for maybe October through, or May through October, but then I think I'd have to come back out east. But, it's a really lively place. It's not as bad and as isolated as everyone would think it is.
I kind of wish I had my flip cam, because yesterday when we went to downtown, me and athletic director Greg Christopher kind of went souvenir shopping, and it was very reminiscent of downtown Bowling Green, just a very small town atmosphere, little shops here and there, very mom and pop oriented, and you won't see a lot of major chains around the area, but kind of refreshing just to see that the locals here have a kind of a stronghold on their economic situation. And for all intents and purposes, no, I cannot see Russia from our hotel room. And the oil thing that everybody kind of relates Alaska to, as far as it being the major economic kind of engine here, is really not so much the case. You talk to some of the locals here, and they say, yeah, it is our strong suit, but a lot of it is exported, and there's no home state discount, as we saw on the gas prices.
Gas is $3.55 a gallon up here, and that's I was told yesterday, that's on the low end. Like, usually in the wintertime, gas will get up to about $4.50, $5 a gallon in January, and so $3.50 is on the low end is insane to me. That's ridiculous to me.
Well, now that you've gotten a little bit of the culture here in Alaska, learned a little bit about the state that Bowling Green hockey is residing in, why don't we kind of shift on over into the Carlson Center, site of last night's 4-1 loss to the Alaska Nanooks, but Bowling Green certainly looking to rebound here in Game 2 of this series.